Well, welcome everybody to another episode of Own Your Career. That's right. This is Rod Colon, and I'm with my good buddy Sam Velu. And we've known each other for many years. The beauty of networking. And about 2 months ago, I saw Sam. We reconnected. He was giving a wonderful presentation around artificial intelligence and AI and all these things. And this has kind of been his and looking at it from a recruiter's perspective. And so we kind of go back in my old days in recruitment, and Sam is still doing that. And certainly if you should also tag with Sam as far as opportunities, that he's a great guy and a great recruiter and has been doing that, but also a wonderful heart. Was always looking to share his knowledge with the community. And so when we connected a few months ago, I said, hey, I'd love to have you on my show to share some things. Certainly, I've been personally trying my best to figure out AI, and I use specifically Gemini. And I know folks will say, well, why do you use Gemini? I like it. It's it's not like I'm testing other things. I use what I like, and not that ChatGPT or any others are not as good. I have a comfort level with Gemini. So my perspective is, how can we as business owners of our careers, both college students, Sam, and mid-career professionals and executives, how do we go about, that is certainly something I want to cover today. And also another area is that people are still intimidated, almost like it's a taboo to use it. So those are two areas specifically that I'd like to cover in this episode of Own Your Career. But Sam, welcome. Thank you so much. And please share with our audience a little bit about you and what you've done and accomplished so that they could get a good sense of where you're coming from.
Thank you, Rod, for inviting me to your show, and great to be here and share whatever I can from the technology perspective, recruiting perspective that I bring to the table. I'm still in recruiting. I know you left and you're doing other things. And AI, like you said, the two topics that you wanted to cover, people are intimidated by the technology per se, right? Anytime a new technology comes. The operative word that I would say that you used, that you're comfortable with Gemini, everybody should be comfortable with the tool that they want to use, right? Can one tool do better than the other? Maybe in some of the things, but as we are starting, you got to play with the tools. I always tell people, especially in the job search market, do not go and subscribe to things that you don't need to subscribe. I'm a cheap guy in recruiting. You fall in love with a tool. I will show you how you can find one tool and then you can find many, right? And I'm of the opinion that I'm a freemium guy. I'll sign up with 5 different email hunting things where I can find 25 emails of consultants, clients, and those type of people. I don't pay for hunter.io, apollo.io, and those type of things. Yeah, from the organization perspective, when you have money, you can do it. But from a job seeker perspective, or like you always say, own your career, be your own entrepreneur, which you are in the job search. You are the CEO of your own company or your own boss, and you shouldn't be spending too much money in all these tools and technologies. And as for getting comfortable with any tool, AI is definitely going to change the way that we do our business currently. For business owners, for job seekers, for graduates who are coming out of college, right? Doesn't matter which spectrum you fall into, AI is going to be covering any of those spectrums. And most of the jobs AI will affect. Anything that can be automated will be automated. Either it will be through a software or it will be through something that you are currently using that they might incorporate that AI into it. One of the things that I always tell people is make sure that you are recruiting. The easier prompting is something that all of us will start learning. The easy way to tell people how to, it's like talking to a 5-year-old. You're talking to a computer. Tell them clear instructions. You're not going to tell, hey, get me that done, right? You're going to give them step-by-step instruction. And that is what, for you to get a good outcome, good output from what you're asking, either through ChatGPT, Gemini, Perplexity, or through Claude or Poe or any of those LLM tools that you're currently using, you should be able to ask questions. And that is what you're going to be learning from the perspective of how you're going to be interacting with that. And I'll give you a funny story, Rod, is if you be nice to the computer, it gives you better answers. And if you really want to test it, say please, say thank you, and you will see the way that it interacts with you, because eventually this is going to be like a human, right? It's not there yet, but in the next iterations, it will be there. So I'm not sure how you can mimic your smile. Isn't that what we always used to say when you go to network? You keep smiling, laugh at other people, smile at other folks, and when you find somebody who's standing alone in a place, you know that he's in the same spot as you are. You do not know, and you go talk to him for 5 minutes. Now you combine, and that's exactly what you're going to be doing here too, in terms of AI. Right? It's just another tool in your arm box, but this tool is very disruptive. That's the only difference. And people always tell me that they've never used technology. If you have used a GPS, you have used technology.
Of course.
If you have a Alexa at your home, which is listening to everything that you're doing, you have used technology, right? It's just, and sometimes my wife's like, I don't like Alexa anymore because it tells her what to do. She now starts to learn her behavior and starts to tell her what she should be doing. Right? So,
Yeah, it's so funny because I mean, I turn on the Alexa, I put in power in. My wife comes into the room, takes it out. I put
ah,
it in, she takes it out.
yeah,
It's funny.
yeah, it is. It is. But in the morning, it says, "Good morning, Rod." Hopefully, you've been using it for a long period of time, and it learns your voice, it learns your things, and it knows that. And you might be interested in the weather, or you might be interested in the news in the morning. So
Yep.
when I wake up, Alexa at 6 o'clock gives me the weather, gives me it says "Good morning, sunshine," or whatever you want to say.
Sure.
Right? And that's all AI, right?
Yeah.
It's a form of AI
Yeah.
that we have never thought about it. We really don't even know our wife's number, to be honest, because we are used to redialing, just hit the phone and redial, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Olden days when we have to, what do you call the dialing, dial for dollars, whatever that we used to
Sure.
call recruiting. We used to know everybody's numbers. Nowadays, it's very difficult to know numbers. Even if
Very
I have
true.
to go to my grocery store in my backyard, we have programmed so much. We get in and put the direction to ShopRite, right?
Sure. Well, now we do because of traffic, so we're not in the middle of traffic. So
We find that to be an excuse, but that's what it is. It's convenience, right?
absolutely, Sam. Hey, Sam, what I want to do is I'm going to share with you my process that I go
Sure,
and help individuals in their job search and how I use AI. And I would love to get your thoughts, comments,
absolutely.
ideas as to maybe we could do it better. So as an individual goes about it, I always tell them that you really need to know who you are, what you do, what you've done, what your outcome, what's your business about. All right, so that's great. So what I will tell them that if they're struggling with their title, so let's say they're using the title of strategic manager, okay?
Yeah,
And as they're looking at LinkedIn and all these places to see openings, there's just not a lot of openings for strategic managers. So I asked them, look, go to Gemini, go to AI, and ask AI for other titles, other options for strategic manager. And as you were mentioning, being nice as a fifth grader, asking it, what are other options we have that I can use in my search? Good idea, bad idea? What do you think, Sam?
very good idea. So one of the things that I always tell people is tell the AI, whichever one you're using, and I have some preferences, like you have Gemini, but Perplexity can do a little bit more research. Claude can do a little bit more research than ChatGPT. It has the iterations, and Gemini is getting there. When it was Bard, it was really bad, but after they renamed it to Gemini, it's done a very good job of doing it. So one of the things I always tell people is any job that you are searching, we are all used to, because you might call it a strategic advisor, strategic consultant, somebody else might be calling it something different. Find what are the other titles which are coming up, which are similar to it. And if you can give that, these are the 5 things that I do, or these are the 5 things I don't want to do. It might even come up with the other titles that you can iterate and then go find, put that title on LinkedIn, in any of the job boards, and find that you might find more than 200 jobs available.
Right. I love it. Excellent. Thank you. Picking up stuff already, Sam. I love it. Here's the next area that I say, well, the individual's now reading the job description, and in their gut, they're saying they're a good fit. I then ask them, take the job description, put it into AI, and give yourself and ask it for 20 technical interview questions and see what it comes out with. And then, so as you're seeing these questions, see if, oh, I can handle it easily. I can do and I always call it, you need to get at least a 14 out of 20. So at least you're a 70% match before I can really get excited about either networking into the opportunity or whatever. Your thoughts around that suggestion?
So I have a little bit of a different take on that part of it, a little bit, but not the questions can, it's the second step after you do this. So I tell job seekers to look at 3 or 4 or 5 jobs that they're applying into, or they think they're a good fit for, right? I tell them to take those 5 jobs, put their resume into ChatGPT, any of those LLMs, please compare my resume to the 5 jobs that I'm applying, and put it in a table format, which one is a better fit for, which of these 5 jobs I'm a better fit for, right? And rank it according to 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. If I'm putting 5 jobs in, rank those jobs and show me where my gaps are in those 5 jobs that you think it's not addressed in my resume, right? Usually it's just the resume and the job description that we are looking, but inherently we might think that we have done those things, but when a recruiter looks at the resume, it's not seen on the resume, right? And I'll give you a case in point. You might have done that skill, but you have one resume. I don't advocate of changing your resume and having multiple versions of the resume. But when you're applying for a job, look at what that job entails, and you might have done it, and change the bullet lines from 1 to 10 and reverse the order. And whatever is important for that job, make sure that you are addressing that job, because as recruiters, our mind only has attention span of 8 seconds to look at the resume. Get hold of me within those 8 seconds of what you need to do. So once you compare the job and you say these 2 jobs are the first 2 jobs that I should apply, then I will ask, can you help me to see if I'm a better fit, asking me 20 to 30 behavioral questions that I might be a good fit for this particular 2 jobs that I'm applying for. And then you can use that yardstick of, if I can answer 14 out of 20, great. And if I can answer 13 and I'm not able to answer, what can I do to answer those next 6 questions? What can I do to prepare myself? What else I can do to make sure that I can become an expert, or at least be able to take that interview, because I'm 65% there, right? Can you help me with the rest 35% where I can at least get to that? And that absolutely works wonders with the consultants that I help all the time now.
Absolutely. So Sam, I typically ask it technical interview questions because it covers the core job description versus the standard HR questions. You indicate behavioral. What's the difference?
Behavioral questions are, it follows one of the STAR methodology scope, any of those methodologies that people are used to. It is what you have done in your job. How did you help it? What percentage you were able to get that output, go to market quicker, faster, in terms of the technical capabilities. How were you able to contribute within that job time frame? And you're using examples within the job. When I was working with FII Solution, this is what I did. I used to recruit 25% faster than the other recruiters on the business analysts, project managers, because I was using XYZ techniques. I used to subscribe to the project management group. I was subscribe to the meetup groups and LinkedIn groups and the Yahoo groups, where I was able to get a lot of proactive candidates who are not looking for jobs on the job boards, right? So that gives you an advantage where you are now. And again, one thing I'm going to caution is whatever the LLM spits out, don't take it as a Bible, right? You want to humanize it. Take it and personalize it for your particular needs and things that you know better than the LLM knows, right? You can take that resume and say, yeah, I was working at so and so company, and this is what I did there. This is how I did it. And you can add your personal flavor and touch to it and humanize it. I always tell people, whatever comes out of ChatGPT, don't take it. There are tools available, Zero GPT and Humanize.ai and other things, where you can put it, and a lot of college graduates there, the professors already know that it's not your work. So take that and check whether that's being ranked. Again, it's going to rank whether they think it is plagiarized or not, whether it was produced by a chat GPT or not. It will tell you. And they are, Hicks.ai is one thing that I can
Right.
think about, which will, personalization is very, very important, right?
Yeah. Now, Sam, some people think when you personalize is that you ask AI X, it gives you Y, and then you modify it on your own. I look at it more as you're a sculptor and you have clay, which is AI, and the more iterative process of prompting and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth that you're creating your own with the assistance of AI. Am I
Absolutely.
am I accurate here?
You are 100% accurate in that sense, right? The more iterations you do, and the free versions has a limited iterations of what you can do. So I always tell people, do about 5 iterations within the free version of that, and then you will be able to. So think about how you're going to attack the problem. But I love the example that you use, right? The more you iterate, the more you're personalizing it, the more you're able to take that output and customize it to your own use case, rather than you're using a general use case of what the best practices are for the whole world. It was best practice for you, Rod Cologne, and your own career.
So two things here, two more things. One is the cover letter, and the other part is that objective summary statement on top. So the first thing is just you as a seasoned professional, as a recruiter. How important is that objective summary statement? Valuable, not valuable?
Very valuable to me. When I look at a lot of resumes, when I see a good summary, well-written summary, it can give me a synopsis of a quick cheat sheet about you, right? It piques my interest. Yeah, Rod has done X, Y, Z, what I'm looking for, and now it's like a trailer, right? It's
Oh, good
that
point.
the best parts of your thing, you're going to summarize it and give it to it. Even if you go and watch the movie promotion, they put the best parts because they want you to come, and that's what you want to do in the summary.
The tease, Sam, the
Yeah,
tease.
the tease all the time, right? And the cover letter nowadays, you can do it through email format. You don't need to attach as a separate cover letter, but email the cover letter to say, hey, I looked at your job description. That also tells me as a recruiter that you looked through the job description, you read through the job description. When I get a lot of responses, I know that they are not a good fit because they've never read the job description. Right? Sometimes when I even post a job on Dice or any of those things, I give them customized questions to see whether they're reading those jobs. It's not just because I get that many. So I even put a score saying that if you answer these 4 questions, then your score is say 8 out of 10, then I might look at your resume, right? Otherwise, I will have to look at 300, 400 resumes, which is not humanly possible. With AI, maybe yes, we can do it. But yeah, I do like the cover letter. I do like when a candidate is proactive, because it gives me an opportunity to know that he or she is not wasting her time. He or she is very serious about her job search.
Yeah.
Right?
So
So when I
Sam,
call a candidate, I sometimes they're not ready for you. Right? That's one of the biggest things. Or they got let go from a job and they are bitter about that job, and that sentiment. I don't care whether you're using AI through the wazoo to rewrite your resume, to do any of those things. AI is not helping you with your mood. AI is not helping you with your sentiment analysis of answering and being bubbly and being the one technique that we always said, right? When you answer the phone, smile and answer. Like we as recruiters are told to smile and dial, right? So nobody has started the
you
job
talk
secret
about
tomorrow.
you're the boss, you're the CEO, you're
Yeah,
running the show, you control that. That's part of your brand. It's up to you. We can't control that. You can.
absolutely.
You can, which is fantastic. Let's cover a little bit of AI now with the networking aspects. All right, so I've identified an opportunity. It's really good, great fit. Now it's an opportunity to identify someone internally for an employee referral, or I submit it into the portal, or I'm working with an agency, whatever it is. But I also want to find people inside that department that either know me or know of me. For me, what I encourage our individuals is to put together what I call a value proposition, which is if I know someone inside, or if I know someone who knows someone inside in my network, I'm going to provide them the following. I'm going to provide Sam with the job description, so you know what I'm talking about. I'm going to provide you with a resume which really hits to the points to that job description, and also a cover letter which highlights all of that. So I give that to you, Sam, and saying, Sam, you know Joe, who's the senior manager of that division. Not sure if they're the manager, the hiring manager or not, but I would love to talk to them, to seek their advice, seek their wisdom, seek their guidance as to, one, what I'm bringing to the table and what I should do. Thoughts on that, Sam?
I love that part of that thing which has been lost in the past few years, because people are so dependent on email and text, and that part of the networking is not there, right? And COVID prevented it, but I always tell people, the more you can connect with somebody, especially when you're in a job, it will help you when you're out of a job, right? You network when you're in the job, that helps so that you can call on them. And I used to get a lot of calls before COVID. Hey, Sam, can you meet me for coffee? I'm meeting somebody for coffee today, for lunch. In fact, we've been trying to hook up. And I'm sure what it is he's just going to pick my brain over coffee and say, hey, tell me what I can do. Why do you think I'm struggling? Or who do you know here? And those type of things. And what you said is giving them that tease and telling them, hey, I would like to talk to this gentleman or this woman to understand what's going inside the company so that I'm prepared for it. And take that information and drop it back into the LLM, right? Now, this is where the AI can help you a lot better. All the information that you have gleaned, you can take it and drop it in here with the company name, with the things, and even address it with that, and it can give you a much better and say, hey, I'm interviewing at JP Morgan Chase in the mid office market with this particular hiring manager in that mergers and acquisition group. Can you tell me a little bit about it? And here is what I could find from the Glassdoor references or the things that I went and looked. And the LLM can do a much better job and put it and concise it and give it to you in a summarized manner so that you are able to articulate. So one of the things I could tell people when you're interviewing with a company, nobody does it. In fact, I did it with somebody this morning. I asked them, can you find the mission and vision of that company? Right? If that hiring manager doesn't know that, and you ask questions when they say, do you have any questions? And you should ask, you should be prepared with the questions, right? And ask, what is the mission and vision of the company? And if you can connect that vision and mission into your interview style, boom, you are standing out better than. And if you can incorporate something within that group, make the company vision and mission can be different. But if you are talking to somebody internal and they give you what the culture and the things are, and you could incorporate that into your interview when you are getting that opportunity, your chances of getting that job has improved dramatically, right? So that's where the AI tools can help, Rod.
Yeah. Sam, I'm not sure if you're big into sports, but in ESPN, they have what is called an ESPN Classic, like an instant classic.
Yeah,
The information you're sharing is an instant classic. I can't wait to share it with the community. Um, Before we wrap up, what haven't I asked you that is important for people to know, either college students going for an internship, mid-career hires, wrestling with their current opportunity, or those folks who are unemployed? What's one piece of advice that is critical for them to have?
I would say embrace the technology, use it on a regular basis, even in the things that you know, right? If you put those prompting and learn prompting, learn how to talk to this LLM, because that is going to be a part and parcel of what we are going to be doing in the future, irrespective of which job you're doing. One of the things I tell people is, hey, I'm going for a software engineer in Java. I'm graduating out of college this year. What do you think should be what do you think should be my what should I upskill myself in the next, with the advent of AI, and what is the threat to my job, right? And if you ask that question, you will be amazed by the answer it gives you, and some of the things you may not have thought about, right? This is right, and you know, oh, wow, I didn't think about it. Let me do it that way. And what is that one thing we always used to say in recruitment? Be curious, stroke that curiosity within things that you're doing. I'll give you a breakfast, not the Breakfast Club, at one of the Princeton, one of the groups. There was an 80-year-old gentleman who came in. He came to harass me. Honestly, I will tell you that, right? But it was okay. And I like people coming to challenge. He said, "Oh, this is crap. This doesn't do this. But after I showed him what it can do, he sought me out at Breakfast Club when we met and said, Sam, I was thankful for you to show me what all it can do. I'm having fun with it. I have not stopped playing around with it. It is just that curiosity that I choked in him to look at it from a different angle, rather than being that, yeah, this is, yeah. Will the rules and regulations change? Absolutely, it will change, like any other technology, right? There will be bad actors, there will be bad people, but don't worry about things that are not in your control. Right? If you're not comfortable to put in information, don't put it in. Be comfortable with what you're doing, and don't worry about the compliances and other aspects of it. If you don't want to put your name, put Joe Doe 1, 2, 3, whatever you want to do, that's okay. If you don't want to give that private information, but anything, if you already put your resume on LinkedIn, your information is public, right?
Got it.
It's not, people are so worried about. I'm not saying don't be worried about the privacy part, right? You absolutely need to worry about privacy and compliance and all those things. But a lot of those things are not in our control, because if you bought a house, if you got married, divorced, any of those things, your information is public. If you go to fastpeoplesearch.com and just put your name and the state you're in, it will give you all the past addresses you lived in. It will give you all your aliases. It will give you all your phone numbers. Can bad actors take that and mess with you? Absolutely. But one of the things I will tell you, Rod, is with the advent of AI, you should have a code within your family members, right? Because it's getting scary, right? It can mimic your voice. It can call your wife and say, Rod Cologne, hey, honey, can you give me the ATM PIN number that I forgot, right? You need to have a personal code, build a personal code for your family and immediate people, so that you don't get scammed into some of these things, because your voice is going to sound exactly like you. I'll give you an example. The writing that I do, I make a spelling mistake with the. I always write TEH, not THE, right? The LLM has already learned the way that I write. So in some of it, it purposefully doesn't spell correct it. It does it TEH. It writes in my style so that it knows that it's humanizing to that effect. So don't be afraid of technology. Use it, play with it, and get better at it. It's like the famous Allen Iverson quote. You talking about practice? Yeah. You got to practice it every day so that you get better at it. And the technology is here to stay. Unfortunately, we cannot control that. The only thing we can do is to embrace it. So play
Yeah.
around with it as much as you can, and don't spend money on any of these tools unless you're comfortable.
Yeah. So, Sam, you've been very generous with your time and your wisdom. Um, how do we, get a hold of you? How do we know of your services? How can someone, connect the dots for you and be of value to you? Tell us a little bit about you and how people can reach you, and typically who are your clients, anything like that, that in our networks, we may know somebody that can be of value to you.
Yeah, absolutely. So I don't have any personal services that I offer, just pro bono work that I do to help in the AI part of it. I work for a small company in Tampa. We do staffing service agency. So anything to do with IT, especially in Tampa and the other areas, I can help people. Project manager, business analyst, Java, .NET, QA, any of those jobs, I will be able to help people with those if I have those clients that are looking for those people. We do more contingency work. But if you have to find me, it's very easy. I can be easily found on LinkedIn, Sam Velu. And if you have to reach me, my phone number is 732-742-2849. Anytime after 5 p.m. you reach me, I'll give you my time. 30 minutes, 45 minutes. I'm generous with the time because when I started, nobody gave me the time. So one of the things, pay forward, right? I'm happily employed and I'm passionate about AI. And if there is any work that any companies or agencies are looking to do, how to integrate AI within their organization, I help those companies to increase their operational efficiency, improve the productivity by 20 to 40%, depending on how they use the AI. And sometimes we get so enamored by the tools. At the end of the day, it comes down to the people, right? It's if people are not using it, I can put any number of systems, it won't help, right? So I try to go through the companies, talk to them about efficiency, but at the end of the day, it comes down to the people and how we can incorporate and help those people to use and adapt to the technology, which will improve their operational efficiency, productivity. So if any companies are struggling or are not able to, we do strategy sessions with them to see and help them out. So
Yeah.
to
Beautiful,
adapt to
Sam.
AI, that's
Yeah. No, it's all good stuff. Thank you for sharing. And that's Velu, right? It's pronounced
yeah,
Velu. Velu.
VELU.
Velu, Sam Velu. You'll find him on LinkedIn. And if you can help him out, great information here. Appreciate it. Just a friend of ours and just an awesome guy. So thank you again, Sam, for being with us today. And the audience, if just great information. One, confirming what we're doing, and some nice tweaks as well of what you could be doing beyond that as well. Thank you so
And
much.
if anybody wants to reach me and if they tell me that they heard you and just tell that I heard you on Rod, it would help me so that I can pay a little bit more attention to them. It's not like I don't pay attention to anybody, but it will give a plug in and it will help. And appreciate your time, Rod, and inviting me onto your
Absolutely.
career
Yeah.
podcast.
Thank you so much.